Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Meshak, and in today's video I'll be taking you through how to prepare your Power BI dashboards in PowerPoint. Alright. Now this is so interesting because sometimes your Power BI dashboards, when you are creating them inside Power BI, could not be the exact same thing that you want. Alright. But if you have the opportunity to create them in PowerPoint, they give you that stable, alright, that stable look, okay, and you are able to look at how the dashboard is going to look before you even import it into Power BI, or before you even start adding your visualizations, and that gives you a sense of knowing what exactly you are doing. All right, now in preparing or in designing your background in PowerPoint, is not as difficult as saving it the exact same way and transferring it or importing it into Power BI. All right, and so in this video I'll urge you to watch everything from the beginning to the end to know exactly how to create the background, all the way to how to actually save it, because saving it is what makes or breaks this particular thing that you want to do, that is designing your background in PowerPoint and then transferring it into Power BI. All right, and so be sure to watch everything from the beginning right to the end. I believe it's a short video, so that you are able to do what you are able to apply this knowledge in your work going forward. All right, so without much ado, let's jump right in. Okay, all right, so this is my PowerPoint. All right, so you can see this is my PowerPoint. If you first open your PowerPoint, this is what you're going to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a blank presentation. All right, and I'm going to select a blank presentation. All right, so I want a blank sheet for my work. Okay, so now that I've come to this particular point, okay, what I'm going to do is that now click to add title and click to add subtitle. We don't need all of this, so you're simply going to select everything. All right, so once you select everything, you click on the backspace to delete it. Okay, so this is the first step to creating your dashboard in PowerPoint. All right, this is the first step. So you select everything that is in there when you come to a blank space, and then you delete everything. Now what you are going to do is to right click, all right, on this page, and if you right click, you are going to see all of these options. Okay, so now once you see them, you are going to go to format background, and you are going to start formatting your background. So this is where you can decide to change the background color or anything that you want. So you have solid fill over here. Let me take this up here. All right, so we have the solid fill over here, and then we have the color over here. So if I don't want the color white and I want to change the color, once I go to color and I change it, it's going to show over here. All right, so this is it. You can also change it whichever color that you want. You can actually change that over here. Okay, you can even use actually new things. You can do some new things over here. All right, not only can you just use the solid fill, you can also use a gradient fill as well. So using the gradient fill, this is how it's going to appear. All right, so the dashboard background is going to be in the gradient fill form. Okay, you can also use picture. All right, you can use a pattern fill. So you have a lot of options. All right, you can use a pattern fill, so you can use this, you can use that, and these are all things that you don't really have you don't have at your disposal when you are trying to create a design background in Power BI. All right, you can use this, but in PowerPoint you have all of this. All right, you have all the options. Okay, and so once you have this, now you can go ahead and do whatever that you want to do. So now we want our solid fill. Depending on you, whoever that is doing this, you can play around with this. But okay, let's select the pattern fill for now and say, all right, so this is our pattern fill. Okay, this is our pattern fill. Now we want the background. All right, for our pattern fill, we want it to be, do you want it to be white? So we still want it to be white, that is fine. And for this, we want it to be maybe black. All right, so we change it a little bit. Okay, so the foreground we change it to this, and then the background we change it to that. All right, so what you can now do is that once you have it over here, you can start creating your visuals. All right, you can start creating your spaces for your project. So you are going to come to insert and say, all right, so now I want to add some shapes. Okay, so the first shape that you want to add, or whoever that's looking at, I can say, all right, so my first shape, I want this to be my first shape. Okay, I want this to be my first shape, and in my first shape I want it to be solid fill, and I want it to be solid fill, maybe blue or green or whichever one you want. So this color, the color that I'm choosing for this project. All right, so now I have this, and we can do so much more to this. Now once you have this, you can even go and add some pictures to this. All right, it really doesn't matter. So you can go in, go to our device. Okay, go to our device and go to wherever that our picture is located. Okay, in this case here, and I'm going to go to select. So depending on the picture that you are selecting, so now I have my picture, and I can just put my picture right here depending on what you are doing and what you are working on. All right, so you have our picture right here, and click outside. That's not all. We can continue to add some shapes and all of that. So I can continue to come here, and depending on what I'm doing, I can just add this shape. All right, add this shape, and you can still continue to change the colors and do what you want to do. So this color, I want to make it white, and you can come to the shape fill, okay, and you can change the shape fill as ever that you want. So the shape fill, if I don't want it white, I want it black. I can see if I don't want it black, I want it black white. So this is the shape fill. And then for the shape outlines, so this outlines, okay, I just go and say, all right, so for the outlines, I actually want the outlines to be blue, and then we want it to be big. So this is the shape outline. All right, the shape outline. And then once we are done with this, you can just copy and paste this. So use this as another use this shape somewhere else. You can also just take this, put this somewhere else. All right, and then we can, so depending on the shape, the background that you are trying to create. All right, and so what I typically do is that before I start creating, I take a look at my data set, and I look at the questions that I've been answering, and then I create the shapes for all of these questions. All right, and so depending on what you are working on, the data set you are working on, the project you are working on, you can just create the shapes. All right, and so now I'm done with the shapes that I want to create. You can do any other thing. Maybe you want to add another shape or an icon. If you have an icon, you can just do that. If you want to add another picture, so let's say we want to add another picture to this, we can just go in and then select another picture. Excuse me, you can just go in and select another picture. So let's say in this case we want the man. So now I've selected this. I can just bring this down here. All right, I can just bring this down here. Really doesn't matter. Okay, really doesn't matter. So I can bring this down here, and I'm going to say, all right, so let me reduce this a little bit. The ladies are dominating. Yeah, so like so. And even if you want, we can add a text box, all right, to the title. So I can just bring this, select the text box, put it right above this, and I'm going to say, okay, HR equality. All right, you can type anything you want, and then once you are done, you can just do some formatting to this. All right, like so, like so. You can change this from that to this color, and then yeah, you can just change the entire this thing to whatever that you want to change it to. Okay, and so this is your title, and we are done with the title. So you can just leave it there like so, depending on what you are doing and how you want your design background to look like. All right, so now that we have this, what is the next step? So now you've done this, you've created your design or you've designed your background. Okay, everything looks good and okay for you. So what do? Now you need to save this so that you can use that in Power BI. All right, so what you are going to do is you are going to go to your file, and then you are going to come to save. No, you are going to come to save as, excuse me. So save as, browse, wherever you want to save it, that is on you. When you come here and you just save it as HR. All right, so I want to save it here. So HR. So let's see what is going to happen if you just save it as this. Okay, so we are saving this. All right, now we've saved this. Now let's jump into Power BI and see if we can use this. Okay, all right, so now we've come back to Power BI, and we want to use this. Put this right here. We want to use this, so you know how to import or change your background. This is nothing difficult actually. So now if you come here, oh god, so I really apologize for this. If you come here, you are not going to have the option to use what you've just created, because Power BI is not going to accept that PowerPoint presentation into Power BI. All right, and so the way you saved it is entirely wrong in the very onset, because you're not going to find it here. All right, and so what we are going to do is that we are going to go back to PowerPoint, and we are going to save it in a different way. So I'm going to go to save as. I'm going to come to browse to where I want to save it. I want to save it in my downloads. All right, I want to save it here, but this time around I'm not going to just save the type as PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to save it as PNG portable network graphics format. All right, this is the right way to save it. So if you select PNG portable network graphics format, now if I'm to save this, it's going to ask me which, all right, it's going to ask me which slides do I want to export. and then I'm just going to click on just this one. So that is the one I was working on, the page I'm working on, all right, or the slide that I'm currently working on. And so if there are 2 or 3 slides, you are going to have to go to those slides, all right, in order to save those slides, all right. And so I want to save just this slide, all right, or just this one only. Or maybe if you want to save all slides, you can just select all slides, but in this case I want to save just this one slide. But let's go to all slides. So I'm going to select all slides, and it's going to say has been saved as a separate file in this download as HR. All right, now let's go back in and see if we can get this. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go to browse. And now if I'm to select HR, now I have my slide. So I'm going to select my slide and I'm going to bring it to my Power BI and report page. And now if I'm to reduce this, now you can see my report page has been created, and I'm able to import it without any problems, and it fits everything in Power BI because of the way we saved it. All right, and so yeah, this is how you can just prepare your background. And this the one that I really love to use. All right, when I'm preparing my design background, I love to do it in PowerPoint, and then just transfer everything, all right, or import everything right into Power BI, and then we just start working with it. And so yes, without much ado, this is just what I wanted to show you guys today. And because going forward, especially during our 10 days hackathon challenge, you are going to be seeing a whole lot of this, and I just wanted to point you out to the right direction so you know what to do before the hackathon challenge begins. All right, and so yes, if you enjoyed this or today's video, be sure to hit on the like button. All right, and also if you haven't subscribed yet, please do be sure to hit on the subscribe button so that you can join the nakama, and so that when I upload any new video like this, you will be among the first to be notified. All right, and so yes, we are going to bring the curtains to an end on today's video here. And like I always say, do be sure to take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.